Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Jeff checking in today. Start a new series on Umpire Mechanics, and I want to talk to you first today on, or first part, I should say, on what signals you need to do, when you to give to communicate with your partner. So, obviously, you're working in a two-man system. Most of the games that you'll work as an umpire are going to be with another person. Sometimes you do three, sometimes you do four, and those have a different set of signals, slightly different set of signals and rotations and schematics about where you're supposed to go with them. But with two-man system, generally speaking, these are the most communication that you'll be doing throughout the game. For the most part, you're going to be communicating with your partner in between at-bats. Most of the time, it'll be when a batter's coming up and getting set and ball's back with the pitcher and they're getting set up and ready for the next batter. You'll be giving a series of signals to your partner to communicate the situation and to let them know what's going on in the field so you and your partner are on the same page. One thing I can stress right away is when you are giving these signals, and this of course assumes you're the plate umpire. If you're the base umpire, you'll be looking for these signals, of course. But if you're the plate umpire, make sure that your partner is looking right at you. Okay? Do not make the mistake of beginning a signal set and then seeing that your partner is just over there talking to the second baseman or whatever the case may be. Make sure that they're actually paying attention. Okay? So what are you going to signal to your partner? Well, the first thing you're going to signal to your partner is how many outs there are. Okay? So as far as what that signal looks like, it can be a couple of different ways that you can do it, but most of the time it's no outs, 1 out, 2 outs. Okay? Sometimes you can do two hands. Sometimes you can hold it up a little higher, but for the most part you do out to the side, away from the field. So if your partner is on in the V, which is behind the pitcher and between pitcher and second base, you're going to step out to the side, out of the batter's view, and you're just going to go 2. If there's 2 outs, and of course there's other signals you'll be going over as well from that. But always, no matter how many runners are on base, start with how many outs there are. Rotation. What are you going to do on a batted ball? So if there's runners on first, or runners on first and third, then you're going to, as a plate umpire, be rotating to second base, or third base, excuse me. Second base would be a completely different story. You'll be rotating to third base. So if you're rotating to third base, you're going to indicate to that your partner in one of 2 ways. So after you give them the outs, 2 outs, you're going to point to third base. You can use 2 fingers, 1 finger, or even a punch to indicate. You can kind of use your out signal as your cue, or you can also do this: 2 outs, third. Right? So you're pointing in the direction of third base. On your responsibility, of course, as the plate umpire, is if there is a batted ball, you're going to go up the third base line and take that lead runner into third base. Okay, but that's for a different video. We'll go over the reasons why you rotate in a future video. IFR, infield fly rule. If the infield fly rule is in effect, you're going to indicate that by tapping the tip of your hat. Okay, you can do that either with your fist if you want to go for no outs, infield fly rule, or you can go 1 infield fly rule. You would not, of course, indicate infield fly rule if there's 2 outs because that would not be possible with 2 outs. Time play. If there are 2 outs, you're going to, especially with runners on specific bases, usually in scoring position, second base or third base, you're going to want to indicate to your partner that you've got a time play situation. That tells your partner that if he's going to be calling an out during the play, he's got to do it loudly, especially if it's not a force out. If it's a force out, that's different. But if it's a continuing action, it's about a runner's going to second and there's a close play at second, you could very well have a runner coming across the plate. And whether or not that run counts depends entirely on whether he scores before the other runner is tagged out. So communication there is key to make sure your partner is very emphatic in their out call to indicate that, hey, there's been an out here, and if the runner hasn't scored, you as a plate umpire have to indicate the runner has or has not scored. So time play is important. Doesn't happen often, but it happens often enough that you need to be aware of it. If you're staying home, you're going to indicate by pointing to the home plate like this, usually like this. Some umpires like to do this, to indicate home, but generally it's a scoop of the hand. You can also use 2 hands, right? Generally, that's kind of what you do there. Other signals that you may see and some umpires might do. So let's say there's an infield fly rule in effect, right? Infield fly rule is in effect. And the first pitch is a wild pitch, and the runners move up. Now the runners in second and third. Well, now the infield fly rule is not in effect. So you might walk over to your partner and indicate with a little scrub of your forearm, like maybe back and forth like that, to indicate that the infield fly rule is off, right? And then go through your normal rotation of signals. Other signals, sometimes your partner will want the count. So if they want the count, sometimes they'll rotate their fingers like this, or they might hold their indicator and point to their indicator to indicate they want that. Sometimes they'll try to echo the count by using their shoulders, right? 3 and 1, 1 and 2, as the case may be. So, but it's very important as the plate umpire to be in constant communication with your partner during a game, because you want to be on the same page. Miscommunication is one of the leading causes of manager arguments. So make sure that you stay on the same page with your partner, okay? Now, I do want to point out that later on my website, I'm going to have a spreadsheet that has a table of when you would make certain rotation calls, certain staying home calls based on the situation of the game. It's a great little handy sheet. There will be a link on my blog later on STEM Fitness for that. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this live video for this first part of this Umpire Mechanics series. I'll be back tomorrow with more information and more things to come here on STEM Fitness. Thanks very much, guys.